Morning, we're back here at Hocking Hills Moonshine answering some questions today that we get a lot of times from our customers. And one of the things they always ask is, how did you get started in this business and how is it possible? So it goes back a long ways. Ohio was like most states, liquor was being produced here up until 1920. That was Prohibition. So Prohibition outlawed the manufacture of any alcoholic beverage. So fast forward to 1933, Prohibition ends. However, the state of Ohio did not go legal with what is known as distillation, okay? So they always had wineries and breweries, but they never had distilleries, and that all changed in 2010 with legislation. So the Ohio Assembly passed legislation that created basically distilleries. So we have what's known as an A3A micro distiller's permit. We were granted that permit so we can operate here in Hocking County and we can produce a distilled spirit. That's a pretty exciting thing. I about fell off my chair when I realized that we could do this. So if you're looking to start a distillery, it all starts with the company or an agency known as the TTB, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Trade Bureau. So everything with this permit is done online. Now with the TTB, they're going to regulate several things. They're going to regulate your building, they're going to regulate your equipment, they're going to regulate your process, they're going to regulate your bottles, your labels, your formulas, your recipes. Everything must go through them. It is a very lengthy, time-consuming process, and there is nobody on the other end to help you. The only thing they will help you with is if you forget your password. Somebody's there to help you reset it. Otherwise, you are on your own. And it takes pages and pages and pages of documents to get all the information to satisfy their needs. So think about how you have to describe your equipment, describe your process. You have to go through another agency with the TTB to get your colas, which they call those, or those are your labels, they call them colas, and to get your recipe. So if you're going to use grain alcohol, no big deal. You can use any type of grain that you want. You can make any product that you want. All of your recipes must be submitted to them. They have to go through their laboratory to get approved. So once you have cleared that hurdle, and then you can also, at the same time, you'll be going through what's known as the Ohio Department of Commerce Division of Industrial Compliance. Yay, it is as complicated as it seems. That is your building. That is the inspectors, your electrical inspector, your plumbing inspector, your HVAC inspector, and in certain cases, even our sprinkler system. So all that must be done up to code. And what a fun time that is. So you're talking about architects, engineers, contractors. You have to get everything in place. And all that comes with a pretty hefty price tag, depending upon your building. A lot of people want to start a setup out of a pool barn or whatever. That's great, I guess, but you're required to have a commercial building. So once you get your building in place, you get everything up to code. As you're going through the process with the TTB, with your equipment and everything, now you're on your way. So after then, you're going to actually get your permit, which is what you're going to see here. The State of Ohio Division of Liquor Control, A3A permit, sale of spirituous liquor to a personal consumer in sealed containers. So what that means is you're manufacturing now, and people can actually show up and they can do some tastings here at your distillery, and they can buy up to 4 bottles per person. However, that is heavily taxed. So now you got to pay your taxes and all your fees. And what fun stuff that is. So taxes are based on how strong your liquor is. There's a chart and a formula that they use. Now we're talking about excise tax, sin tax. Okay, so once you figure that out, there's monthly paperwork that you have to complete with the feds to tell them how much that you have made, how much you have on hand, how much of it is bottled, how much of it is in storage. It's an extremely complicated process, but once you've been through it for 4 or 5 years, you'll get the hang of it. And then let's not forget about your vendor's permit. So that's your sales tax. So every month you've got to pay your monthly sales tax rate to your local county agency. And then you'll get agencies like the Ohio Department of Agriculture. They'll come walking in one day and they say, well, we regulate your business too, so you know, how much for that? So that's another permit. Well, and by the way, when you're going through the federal process, there's no fees to do that. It's just lengthy and time consuming. But when you do go through your state, you're going to wrap $100 bills around their applications, guaranteed, and I'm sure that's only going to go up. Don't forget about your workers' comp. You got to protect all your workers. And eventually, when we obtain our food license and our liquor license, those permits will go here, and then that brings in wonderful agencies like your local health department. To be health code compliant, you must go through training now, which is even more fun. So you get on your local website and you got to figure out your food safety program, and you get set and watch all these videos and learn about contamination and sickness and illnesses and stuff like that. So lots of fun things that you have to learn along the way to open up a distillery. And I wish everybody the best. I've given a lot of people a lot of good advice. You've got to be committed to it. It's not something you're just going to do on the weekends whenever you feel like it. Business is 7 days a week. It's nonstop. And these agencies don't really care about your progress. They only care that you get your information in there correctly and that you pay your taxes. After all that, then you're good to go.